not live yet anyways, don't worry. All right. Well, we are here with Sheri Biggs, Representative Sheri Biggs today, and I am so excited that she was able to squeeze in a few minutes to come and talk to us today. Sheri, you have been on a whirlwind tour since you got out of Congress, and you're working hard in Congress. How does it feel to be back in the district, though?
Oh, it's great. We've had a really good week. We've been out meeting with first responders and law enforcement, fire departments, just kind of making our way around all 11 counties to be sure that we're expressing our gratitude for our men and women that work hard for us every day.
You know, I think that is so important, and I think so many times we just take them for granted, don't we?
We do.
And when you look at what's happening across our country, South Carolina certainly has a different attitude, don't we?
I think we do. We understand and want law and order in our communities. We expect that.
That's right. So you got this, you helped pass the big, beautiful bill. How is it up there working with Trump? I tell you what, from down here in South Carolina, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. Every day there's something.
We start early in the morning, we go late at night, and then you wake up the next morning and there's a whole stack of executive orders that you're trying to catch up with. So I don't know when the man sleeps, but it's a great feeling to be a part of history and to be a part of what's going on. I think it really is good to see America being put first, and all that means is that the 3rd District of South Carolina is first in my book.
That's right. So, as you've been up there, what have been, just real quick, what's some of the big highlights when somebody goes, highlights of being in Congress for the first 6 months?
Well, obviously, the first thing that occurred was we were able to help the women and girls in sports, and I've met some incredible young women, very athletic, that have worked hard to get where they are, and to be a part of that bill and to protect those women and to keep men out of women's sports, I think it was fun, great to be a part of that.
Right. Any other big highlights?
Oh, the one big beautiful bill.
How was that negotiate? I mean, you were right there, and it was a fight, wasn't it, to get it there?
It was. We went without sleep for a couple days, but just the realization of how important that was to the 3rd District, it was good to be a part of.
What do you think about how the tariffs are going to affect South Carolina, and particularly the 3rd District?
You know, one thing, whether you like President Trump or not, I think giving him credit for being the ultimate negotiator, he can't be underestimated. And I've been out talking with manufacturers and businessmen and women, and they understand and they see how this long-term impact is going to affect the business, it's going to affect economy, and it's going to affect South Carolina. And I think we just have to keep our eye on the prize, kind of trust in our leader and work hard to help him get this across the finish line.
So you haven't had any negative feelings from any of the manufacturers that you've talked to here in South Carolina?
I mean, there are some that are a little nervous, and there's a lot of money on the line, and some people don't understand politics as well as others, but for the most part, people are very supportive of the president and his decision.
That's great. Well, I know you had a success here, because tell us about that bill that you got into. It hasn't gone to the floor, but it's gone through. Tell us about that bill.
Right. Well, Made in America Defense Act is one that I had that made it to committee markup, and I'm very excited to see, and hopefully you'll be hearing about that soon, go into the floor. But basically it's going to help manufacturers right here in the 3rd District to make products that will be utilized by the Department of Defense. So it helps our military members, it helps our manufacturers, it's going to help our economy, and couldn't be more proud of my team and the work that we've done on that.
Is that kind of unusual to get a bill that far in your first 6 months?
It is, but I'm a little competitive, so.
You said that when you were running. I remember you saying that I am going to work. Nobody will be able to outwork me.
And they can't beat me as far as working hard and trying to put the 3rd District first. Nobody can outwork me.
Well, I think you have knocked it out of the park for this first 6 months. Now, just before we went on air, you told me about being put on a defense committee.
Right. Well, it's a task force.
Task force.
So right now, I serve on Homeland Security, I serve on Foreign Affairs, and I serve on Science, Space, and Technology. And I was also asked to be a part of a task force, and that's a national security task force. There are 29 members currently on it, a lot of military members, and I'm the only female. So very proud to represent the 3rd District of South Carolina. Girl power. Yeah,
that's right. So now you all what else? Let's see. You also have been. I wanted to ask you what you thought about a nuclear reactor on the moon. Since you're on the Space Force one, I mean, I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, well, to be determined.
To be determined.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I do think that America is going to be put first, because of the press to move forward and make sure that we are in control in the space area, in the space region. And I think that is important when you consider our adversaries, and not only military factors, but we talk about AI and cyberspace and technology. Space is an important factor, but I'll keep you posted as I can.
I think it's just amazing. When you first heard about it, and then I heard Sean Duffy talking about it, and I said, well, I guess that kind of makes a little bit of sense here, right? Yes. And the thing about it is, the other thing I thought, though, is President Trump will be out of office if they go according to plan in 2030 is what they're talking about. So is he going to go for a 3rd term?
I cannot confirm or
deny. Anyways, that's just some fun side talk here. But you have a big event coming up. You are going to be doing an event in Anderson. What would you like to tell us about that?
So our event is Salute to Liberty. It's going to be held on the 18th of this month. The doors open at 5:30, and the event itself will take place from 6:30 to 8:30. And I'm very happy to announce that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be our featured speaker for that evening. Looking forward to that. That
should be big. How'd you get Sarah Huckabee, Governor Sarah Huckabee, to come? That's pretty impressive.
Well, she and I go back a little ways, and we were thinking hard about someone who would represent the values of the 3rd District, and I couldn't think of a better person. I mean, she loves this country almost as much as I do, and she's done great things for Arkansas.
If I get to talk to her, I'm going to ask her, do you love this country as much as Sheri Biggs?
It might be a close race. I just have so much respect for her as a mom and just a down-to-earth person. I think she represents what we hold close to our hearts, and family and faith and freedom. And what better person to come. And, speaking of that, we will be honoring our veterans, our first responders, our law enforcement, and all of those individuals can attend for just $1. Their tickets only cost $1. And I would like to let people know that are listening how they can get their ticket. If you go to saluteliberty.org, we would love to see you there.
Absolutely. And that's going to be on the
18th
18th,
of August.
and that's 6:30, 5:30.
Right. Doors open at 5:30.
And at 6:30. So it's going to be a great evening. It's at the Anderson Civic Center. Is that right? Yes. And so
this year, who knows? Next time we may change it up, but this year it is going to be. And all 11 counties will be representing the 3rd district under one roof. How exciting is that?
That's true.
I believe the governor is going to be there. He supported me early on, and since I've been out meeting with different businesses, it makes me very proud to live in South Carolina, and I think the governor has been on the front end of trying to boost our economy and making sure that businesses thrive in South Carolina. So I'm very honored to have him there as well.
Absolutely. Well, speaking about that, what do you think about the presidential fitness program that we're going to reinstate here in the United States?
I'm not at all opposed to that. I think we should focus on wellness, and unfortunately, the U.S. has a high obesity rate, and I think children that are active and more fit, they're able to learn, and helps with healthcare issues and just all around happier, better mental health. So I'm in favor
that coming
of that.
from. Are you a general now?
Not yet.
Colonel, okay.
Not yet.
Colonel, that coming from a colonel here who has had to keep herself in shape and run. Did you ever have to do that physical fitness test in schools?
I can't remember doing it in schools, but I have one coming up in October. So, yeah, I think if I should have to do it, everybody should have to do it.
The one problem I have, it's the pull-ups. My upper body strength is just terrible. I can do some of the others, but I can remember being in school, having them hold your feet down, and you had to do all these sit-ups so fast, and you had to do all this.
I love sit-ups and push-ups, but my little short legs, I don't really understand how fair that is, that my short legs have to run the same length as a person that has long, beautiful legs. So I'm a little jealous, but we'll make it.
We'll make it. Well, Sheri, these are just some of the topics. What other things have you been working on up there in Washington, D.C.?
Well, a lot of things. I think a lot of my constituents are concerned about the waste, the fraud, and the abuse. Individuals want to know that their hard-earned taxpayer dollars are being put to good use. And I can say that I have been on the front end and want to see spending cuts and to make sure that we're using our money wisely. And I think that's important, not only for my children, but my future grandchildren. And I know a lot of my neighbors feel the same way, and the people that I've been out talking with in the district, they're sick of waste and want to make sure that we're working smarter, not harder.
Do you think that it seems to me, since Elon Musk left, that the Doge program has kind of dropped to the back, has it, or not?
I don't feel like that at all. I know that...
well, that's why we're talking to you today.
Exactly. Conservatives that share... and represent districts like the 3rd District of South Carolina feel the same way that I do. We're going to continue to work hard. And talking about the big, beautiful bill, there were a lot of things that we didn't like about it, but there were a lot of good things. We had hoped that sending it over from the House to the Senate, that the Senate would kind of tighten the wrench on the spending a little bit, and it didn't quite happen as much as we would have liked, but hopefully there's going to be more opportunities, and we're going to continue fighting that good fight, because we have to stop our spending, and we have to balance the budget in a more responsibly fiscal way.
President Trump wanted to raise the debt ceiling and some of these things. Do you think we are going to be doing that? I mean, sometimes I know you have to spend money to make money. That was one of Jeff's favorite, my husband's favorite things, and I would always go, "Oh, come on, Jeff, I can't do any more." But do you think that we are going to be able to pull it back?
I think we're making progress, and I know to some extent the thought about growing our way out of this debt, I think in combination with decreasing our spending and stopping the waste, I think it's possible. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be there fighting so hard.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd ask because everybody, and the thing about the media, doesn't the media make it difficult?
Oh, it's so frustrating. People need to be very cautious about what they listen to and what they read, because it can be very misleading.
It is misleading. And the other thing is they pound on a subject until all of a sudden the next day it just drops out of the news and you never hear anything else about it, which I find frustrating.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what have you done for fun, Sheri Biggs?
I came to see Aunt Ellen.
Oh, nice answer. But no, what else? Have you done anything fun since you've been up there in Washington, D.C.? What would you say we've done for fun?
Other than working, I mean, there's not been a lot of time, no downtime at all. No vacation time. When I'm not in D.C. working, I've been in the district working. But being out, just like I mentioned, talking with our sheriff's departments and our manufacturers, our first responders, to me, I guess that's what I'm finding pleasure in, and seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, seeing that we're making progress and that people are genuinely benefiting from it. I guess that would be what I consider my fun.
Yeah, there's people, you and I are a lot alike. I work all the time. People say, "What have you done for fun?" Worked.
Well, it keeps our mind busy.
It does. And then I got Penny. And that was an additional.
Yeah.
So any other things that you're working on in the different committees? Well, let me ask you this. What do you think about what's happened with the border?
Well, I think we have made a lot of progress. But now, we're faced with the dilemma of the people that are here that shouldn't be here. So although we've accomplished a lot, we still have a lot left to do.
What do you think about deporting all the illegals? How do you think we're doing on that? I mean, there's certainly with ICE and everything, there seems to be a lot of angst on how that is being done. I mean, according to the media.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is coming from the left. And that's very frustrating. Instead of defending those men and women that are protecting us, it seems like they're being greeted with left anger, and I just find that unfortunate. I find that un-American is what I find it, and I hope that those people will be held accountable for their actions. And right now I'm thinking of a particular congressperson, MacGyver, with the ICE raid, and those people should have to answer for how they treated those agents.
Exactly. Well, on any of your committees, what's particularly exciting that you've got going on?
Well, there's a lot of excitement. Homeland Security is always exciting, but I think right now on my mind, being out talking with our law enforcement, mental health, I'm thinking is probably an area that I need to direct a little more attention to. You may know I'm on the Docs Caucus, which is a group of healthcare professionals, and healthcare and mental health are two things that I want to see. I guess maybe a transformation is a good way to put that. I've had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Oz on several occasions, and he shares the concern for mental health. I've also had the opportunity to sit down in a small group with Secretary Collins. So I think some positive things are going to be coming our way for our veterans, and I look forward to keeping you updated on that. Nothing real specific right now. Those are just areas of topics that we're discussing.
I don't know what's wrong with this puppy here today. She's getting a little bit wild here today.
Penny's trying to do the interview. She
Right.
wants to play.
Yeah. One of the things is President Trump has wanted to get all the homeless people off the streets and institutionalize. How do you feel about that?
Well, again, talking with law enforcement, I've heard a lot of those men and women talk about how they're having to address certain individuals. Sometimes we're treating patients like they're criminals and they end up in a jail cell when in all actuality they just need provider intervention and treatment for their mental illness. So that, again, that's an area that we're going to have to work on. I would love for them to be able to get off the streets and have a more stable environment and live a more fulfilling life.
Well, I totally agree. But I do remember back in the 70s when we had all the institutions that we used to put the bull streets and everything like South Carolina, and we did away with those. And that's why we ended up, I think, with a lot of mental people out on the streets and not enough places for them to go. But I think one of the things that has to happen, we have to begin to treat the symptoms and not just medicate, because it's the just medicating that I think causes a lot of the problems.
I completely agree with you. And then when they lose access
right
to the health care
or they don't want to
medications,
take it, or they don't want to take the medication.
Right. Well, there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with taking those medications. Sometimes it may be lab work, or it may be follow-up appointments, or there may be therapy required to get their medications. And sometimes these patients aren't compliant, and sometimes they do have the mental capacity to care for themselves, and sometimes they don't. So there are a lot of factors, and there is no cookie cutter pattern to plan. Every individual is different and has different circumstances, and sometimes that's where it gets a little tricky.
Well, I agree. And because, I just think just institutionalizing everybody in the same boat is not going to work. And that's where I think that it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time. I happen to know you're going to one of my favorite places, Pathway House, that certainly has a way to deal with the trauma. And what they found is that trauma is the actual issue that so many of our people deal with. And hopefully, it would be wonderful if there would be some elements of what they do over there that they could take to back to Washington, and not just throw money at it and say we've solved the problem.
Absolutely, and that's one reason that I'm out in the district working and looking at these places and talking with these individuals that are subject matter experts in the area, and trying to formulate the right plan for our district. That's what I'm concerned with. So hopefully these visits will pay off and you'll see some progress in those areas.
That sounds great. Well, I know you've got to run because you've got a really short, tight schedule, and I sure appreciate you working us in. Tell us one more time about the event on the 18th.
Okay, it's the Salute to Liberty. Please check out our website, salutetoliberty.org, to get your tickets, or you can call our office and we'll be happy to give you further information. But thank you so much for having me today. It was great to see you and Penny, and always good to be at home in the district.
Well, it was a quickie here today, right? We got to get you back when you can come spend some time with us, and love to be able to have a cup of coffee and sit down and just chat sometime soon. And Penny says, so would I. So, with that being said, Sheri Biggs, Representative Sheri Biggs, thanks so much for giving us this wonderful, she's never had a voice like this before. Must be the middle of the day. It's been great having you here today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye. That's Sheri Biggs, Representative Sheri Biggs from the great state of South Carolina, right here on WCRS. That'll do it. Bye, everybody.